Did you just jump up here because you wanted to be on stream? Little Clinton. Look at this little Clinton. He literally just jumped up here because he wanted to be on video. He wasn't here the entire time. I turned the light on. He'd start streaming and a kitty pops up. Look at you, look at you. Yeah, you're so transparent. You are so transparent, little Clinton. You just want to be famous. That's what you are. You just want to be famous. You just want to be famous, isn't it? Oh, man. Can't trust this little kitty. Oh, man. So many times that Wondershare tried to get me to sponsor their garbage. Let's see if I can show this on screen. Cooperation invitation request from Wondershare 2021. Cooperation request invitation from Wondershare 2020. Again, let's talk about cooperation. 2019. Never took those fuckers' money. Never did, because they have this, because what they do is water damage iPhone data recovery. Little fucking scamming sacks of shit, bro. What they do is this. Water damage iPhone data recovery. They've managed to come up with a way, these cunts at Wondershare, supposedly, to be able to get data off a liquid damage fucking phone. So if your phone has a corroded TriStar chip, your phone has a corroded power circuit, a dead PMIC, a short on VCC main, don't worry, just pay $200 for their piece of shit software. Man, I think it's important people get that company's been a piece of shit ass company for a very long time. Felix, I'm out of hot air stations until February or March. I got rid of all of them for the move, and I'm not going to have any until February or March. I figured if I'm going to have to pay to move them across the country and manage and deal with it potentially breaking, I might as well just sell them all to customers. All right, let's see what we have in the comments here. Oh, Clinton's already been fed, try to assure you. This little guy don't need no more food. He's been fed many times. Would repairing a USB, SD, or SSD be plausible to do by yourself as opposed to a HDD? That depends on what is wrong with it and your level of experience. Yeah, very general question. Depends on what's wrong with it and your level of experience. Oh my god, look, he's actually climbing on my arm. He's so cute. Look at this little kitty. Look at this little cat. Little cat, little cat. Which Fuda submissions have been interesting? I can't talk about them yet. Can't make them public. For every one that was interesting, there were 5 or 10 that were complete schizo. The thing that drives me nuts, and like I'm starting to realize this with my own nonprofit and how to ask for money and how not to ask for money. Please, like if you write 6 pages of shit and after reading the 6 pages of shit, I still don't know what the fuck your idea is, who would use it, and why it matters, you suck at raising money. And I'll be honest, I used to write shit like that, but I'm becoming very sensitive to it when I read other people's stuff. It's like just give me the fucking point. Like, give me the point. What do you, like, what does this do? Why does it matter? Who would use it? How is it better than whatever else is out there? What problem are you solving? Like, anyway. Yeah, I actually spent the whole day going through submissions and summarizing them. There were quite a few good ones. Like, there were some of them that I thought, this is top of the line. Then there's a ton of crazy shit, too. Any other news outlets interview you? Nope. Just News 10, Amal Taliji, and then last week there was one, I think it was CBS. I forget if it was CBS or ABC, but I posted it to my channel. But the questions, in my opinion, were not as good. Apparently you can still get your kitty repaired. Oh, yes you can. Right to repair the cat. Right to repair the cat. Let's see if I can find the name of the place that fixed the cat. The place that fixed the cat. They actually did a really good job. Let's see. Is this it? I don't know if this is it. He thinks that Dan is going to feed him.
I literally just gave him a can of food. Why is he yelling at me?
Because he thinks if he yells at you more, he'll get another can of food. Here we go. Here we go. So this is the place. This is the place. So these people over here, they saw Mr. Clinton at 10 o'clock at night. They said it may take 6 hours, but they just to see him, but they actually wound up seeing him in less than 10 minutes, and they fixed him up within an hour, and they were really nice to him. So this is a great vet. They deserve 5-star reviews. The saddest part of my entire experience was at one point they had me sign a bunch of paperwork for the cat. My computer is slow. Have you tried installing an SSD in it? That'll make it faster. So they have these, that like the waiver of liability, ability to work on your cat, you're going to pay at the end. And then they had me sign a form that was strange to me. They had me sign a form that promised I would be nice to them. And it was at that point that I just, my heart sunk. Are you so used to people being pieces of shit to you that you actually have to make your client sign a form for them to be nice? It fucked me up inside. I actually left after signing that. I left. I went to the ATM. I got $100 and I left them as a $100 tip. I'm sorry for your other customers. They really fixed Mr. Clinton. He had an ulcer in his eye a few days ago. That's why he was wearing the cone of shame. You could see a few videos of that on the live channel. Greetings from Oklahoma. I keep giving them hell. Thank you. Anything new with the USB Type-C compatibility issues? Nope. No, nothing new. I looked them up on YouTube. It looks like they have a rather large presence in Latin America. Also, a whole bunch of sponsored YouTube vids in Spanish. Yeah, I never sponsored that. I'm glad I didn't. This is happening more and more often. Where, something comes out, and I just become very glad that I didn't sponsor, take a few $1,000 to sponsor some shit that was shit. It happened with NordVPN. And then it came out that they, after all the insecure stuff came out, it's thank God I did not take $3,000 to shill NordVPN. And after this Wondershare shit, their software doesn't work. I paid for their software, so I'm allowed to say that. I'm so stupid that I actually gave those fucks $100 for that shit because I thought not because I thought it would cure water damage, because I thought it could help me with something else, and it didn't. So I'm allowed to say that I think it sucks because I actually paid for the right to say it sucks. But yes, I'm glad I did not ever shill Wondershare. Why would you want to repair an SSD? To get the data back from a customer. What's your favorite thing about living in Texas? Driving at 11:45 at night in January, 11:45 at night, with the windows down in my car and short sleeves and not being freezing. The fact that it's sunny more often. I dropped my Samsung S7 active in water and have the video to prove it. I have an S21 Pro Max. And I've been through 3 screens, the camera doesn't work. Oh, well, sounds like you have a really old phone that died. Is no data, no fee like iPad rehab common in data recovery businesses? I don't even know if she still does that. A lot of those cases, I don't even know if she still does that, honestly. It depends on the amount of money that you're spending for a donor board. Also, it depends on, if there is a case where you're 99% sure you're not going to get the data, but there's a 1% chance that you can, and the customer wants you to go for it, you may ask for a deposit because it's I would call this a no fix anyway, but if you want me to actually go for it, I need something. Did you try Pipewire and Wire Plumber? No, it took me a year to figure out how to get all this fucking jack-off audio shit to work. No. It literally took a year to get all this bullshit to actually function. So instead of using QJack CTL, I used this studio control shit, and then I have this. But it took me a year to figure this out. I'm not starting from scratch. I'm just not doing it. It took so long. You have no idea. It took so long to just get that shit to fucking work. I have working Linux audio. I literally, after I got that to work, I cloned my operating system drive to another, so if it doesn't work and I have to spend 5 hours figuring it out again, I can just clone back to I can go back to my old drive and have it work. No, I'm not screwing with this for like the next 20 years. Linus had takes on his stream the other day. I don't know what that means. Can you tell me which country is your benchmark to follow and right to repair path? Huh? I don't know. I try in America. America. You were also mentioned and talked about in the Lewis Linus video. Oh, what for? What'd I do? When are you going to make video on Type-C charging port? I've done a couple fixing it. Any update on Graphene OS? Yes, it gets updated regularly, actually. My phone every now and then tells me there's an update and that I should reboot it. I've used, yes. Yes, there have been updates to Graphene OS, yes. It was a tech-linked video. Oh, cool. I wonder when pets as a service will become a thing. Maybe. Do more with Linus and Rich Rebuilds. I texted Rich Rebuilds a week and a half ago. He's a busy dude. I'm not going to bother him too much. He's a busy guy. I haven't heard back, but he's a busy guy. Making videos that actually have quality takes time. Not all the YouTube content creators have the luxury of ranting from a chair. There's very low effort put into these videos, but Rich Rebuild's videos have a lot of effort, so I try to not bother him much. But he's a cool dude. I have a lot of respect for Rich Rebuilds. I'm sure you've already discussed this. Thoughts on the YouTube policy? What YouTube policy? Well, you take the red pill. What red pill? What was that about NordVPN? They suck? In the latest TechLink video, the host mentions the 50-something page report from the FTC and shouted out you. Oh, I think I commented on that. Is this anti-Apple headquarters making sure I'm at the right place? No, this is Lewis Rossmann and Rossmann Repair Group. Why don't data recovery places recover software? They don't because it's usually not doable. And if you promise that, then essentially a data recovery you could have made $300 on, you recovered all their data, but because the here's the thing. Like, let's say I recover your files. Just because I recover your files doesn't mean that the software is actually going to work. Like, if you have a piece of software that you paid for and you lost the key to, and I recover your hard drive's files, that doesn't mean that's actually going to be bootable. The operating system may be corrupt, which means you have to reinstall it. If you have to reinstall the operating system, I'm not going to get myself into some bullshit dilemma where I spend 8 hours in your fucking data recovery for $300, and now simply because your pirated copy of Fruity Loops from 2006 doesn't launch, like now, I don't want to pay, even though you recovered all my baby pictures and my QuickBooks records from 2004 when I was getting audited. Like, nobody's stupid enough to do that. It's just. It's not a thing. Like, sometimes with the old with HFS Plus, this is something that was doable. So let's say you have a drive that is dying. You could let's say use something like DD Rescue, and this is like really low level. Obviously, I'm not talking about clicking hard drives, but you could DD Rescue the drive to another one, and then you could use something like some data recovery software to recover the files from it. But getting the files is usually not as important to the customer as actually getting it to boot again, because when you get it to boot again, all their software will function and work the exact same way it does before. And that's what people are looking for. So what you could do is you could use a program like Disk Warrior back when it actually worked to then fix the cloned drive. That's still not going to be bootable, though. You'll need to reinstall the same version of the operating system on a fresh drive, and then take the Disk Warrior clone and then use Migration Assistant in Mac OS to migrate everything over, and then you may actually have something that looks exactly the way it did before, but that doesn't always work. The thing is, sometimes you may be stuck with, like, you just can't get a bootable clone. You can just get a folder with their files, and when that happens, the applications, you're going to have to reinstall them. So no, I'm not putting myself in a situation where, like, again, you spend 10 hours. This is even worse when you have clicking drives with bad heads. You have to do firmware recovery and all heads replacements, all the other shit, where, like, you get 99.999% of their data or 100% of their data. It's just the operating system was corrupted. It's not booting. And they say, I don't want to pay you because, like, my fucking copy of Microsoft Word doesn't turn on or whatever. It's like, no. Nobody's stupid enough to do that. Will you or Frudo host any basics of technology repair seminars? No, I do not do that. I do repair workshops, and there is a lot of confusion about the repair workshops that we have here. So this is a great time for me to explain what they are and what they aren't. So these are free, open to the public workshops where people can bring in stuff that they want to work on, soldering projects, anything like that, and they can work on their soldering project, they can work on their electronics troubleshooting project. If somebody comes in and says, I would like to kind of learn how to solder a QFN, micro VGA, I want to learn how to solder jumper wire, this, that, or the other, I'm more than happy to teach you. This is not a place where you show up to ask for money. It's not like it's not like meet Lewis and ask weird, odd personal questions and be awkward and weird. It's not a place to show up and say, I heard your boss is a billionaire. How do I steal his money? Because, like, we've had 3 people stupid enough to do that shit, and it's like, it's so fucking awkward and annoying. It's just like, get the fuck out of here. It is not, and also it's like I'm not. People say, okay, I'm here to learn, and it's like, okay, what do you want to learn? And like, I don't know, what are you teaching? It's like, no. What do you want? Like, what project do you have? Do you have a project? Okay, if you don't have a project, it's like, okay, I want to learn how to solder a jumper wire between these two things. I want to learn how to solder a QFN so that it doesn't move around. I want to learn like how to find I don't know, like some shit like that. But like, it's not like I'm not sitting there with a classroom and just going through a curriculum. It's what is your project? You're welcome to use the equipment. I'll try to help you with learning how to use the equipment and that type of stuff. But yeah, I don't really have like basics of technology. There's not a curriculum. It's pretty much like bring your shit and we'll try to work on it. Like, some dude brought a breast pump. Another person brought an iPhone that they ripped a connector off the board on. Another guy brought a lamp. People bring interesting stuff and we try to work on their stuff. What VPN do you use? Don't. Graphene OS update. Yes, Graphene OS is regularly updated by Daniel McKay and his developers, and I do install those updates from time to time. Yes, it is updated. It's a piece of software, so it has updates. Long time no see. What's new? It's 2023. You're inspiring. I want to start my own repair shop. That's awesome. Thank you so much. The Cone of Shame sounds like such a taunting name. It is, but that's what it is. It teaches them not to jump through the garbage. Do you know where to find Asus laptop datasheets? Try VenaFix or something. Have you ever thought about using an X-ray when diagnosing solder joint issues? I was very close to buying a Nordson 3D X-ray machine, but my business can never afford it. This is one of those things where it'd be really cool to be able to get credit. I actually reapplied for credit recently with my bank. It's so I've paid my bill on time for 10 years. I have I have less than 1% usage on my credit, and I asked to get approved for like 30 or 40,000 bucks, and like it's been a month, still waiting to hear back. It's a joke. I've never been able to actually get I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm also bad at a lot of things. One of the things I'm bad at is raising money. So yeah, this is a Nordson 3D X-ray machine. A few years back, I wanted to get a line of credit so that I could buy one of these things. It's honestly best that I didn't. You should never go into debt to buy shit for your business. But you tell me what country your benchmark is in. What country is your benchmark? I don't have a benchmark. I live in the United States, so I advocate in the United States, and that's that. Lewis, what's a respectful way to tell a body coworker that you don't want to be friends with your coworkers? A body coworker? I don't get it. These people are nothing like me and actively belittle others. Just tell them what you told me. Sup, Lewis? You were holding back when slamming that New York politician for they had to write the repair bill in a recent vid. Am I right? You were pissed. Holding back? I don't know what you mean by holding back. I'm fairly certain I've said Kathy Hochul's okay. I don't want this video to get deleted, but you can imagine. Yeah. I've had I think I've held back on Kathy Hochul because she's a woman, and I just don't want the front page New York Times article saying like horrible misogynist says mean things about governor. Because like I have about 4 or 5 years of content where I just fucking dig into Andrew Cuomo. Like, I call him the ultimate piece and pile of steaming dog shit that he is. I've called him a dick. I've called him a cunt. I've called him a dick. Like, I've called Andrew Cuomo everything in the book. But I just have this feeling, and I could be wrong. I just have this feeling that if I say the same things about Kathy Hochul that I said about Andrew Cuomo, that I'm going to end up in a news article for all the wrong reasons. So I think that I've tried to avoid doing that. Nick says, why didn't you like Germany? Why do you assume that? I don't know. Where the fuck do you get this shit from, bro? Where do you get this shit? Oh, a nosy coworker. I don't know if you have a nosy coworker, just say like, I'm, you get into my, I see the way you talk about others. I don't feel like having a conversation with you. If you're always belittling others, what are you going to be doing to me after I talk to you? Just be honest. It makes life easier. The video about Hochul signing the bill and how she sabotaged and made it useless. Yeah, fuck Kathy Hochul. You rage about the repair bill getting neutered. That's what Linus Tech Tips mentioned you in recently. Yes. Is that a Google Pixel Pro 7? This is a Google Pixel Pro 6. My boss gave it to me. He actually fucking hates this phone. He hated it so much he was about to just throw it away. And then he asked if I wanted it. So I took it. He likes the Pixel 4a 5G. It fits in your hand. The fingerprint sensor works much better. The back of it doesn't feel like a cheap piece of shit like the Pixel 6 Pro does. The fingerprint sensor on the Pixel 4a 5G actually works. The fingerprint sensor on the Pixel 6 Pro works like half the time. It's horrible. How many of those blue t-shirts do you have? About 7. Thank you, Steel Person. Any thoughts about Float Wheel? The one-wheel copy coming in February. No thoughts. Haven't really kept up with it. Besides Texas, what was your runner-up location? Florida. Is your family from Italy or Jewish? Italy, yes. Jewish, no. The policy update just put under virtually every channel in monetary jeopardy. For instance, a channel named RT Game got over half his channel's videos age restricted. Oh, that doesn't really sound like a policy. It's just somebody got age restricted, but for why? What's the policy? I don't know what the policy is. Hello, I was thinking about stopping by one of your sessions in your new store. I'm a cybersecurity student. Want to learn more about hardware. Are you okay with that? Well, what if you come by and you say, I would like to troubleshoot this issue on this thing, or I would like to know how to solder this thing to this board, I can help you. If you come by and you say, I want to learn about hardware, I'm just going to stare at you and go, okay. And then it's going to be awkward. So yes, like it's a very simple, bring your project, bring what you want to work on, have an idea of what you want to learn, and I will help you. But if you say, I want to learn, and I say, okay, what do you want to learn? And you go, I don't know, then we're just going to stare at each other very awkwardly. And it's going to be very awkward. And it'll get increasingly more awkward as we stare at each other. I stopped helping even family members with their operating system. You spend half a day and then 9 angry phone calls because things aren't 100% the same. Yeah, don't do that. How can I tell a coworker we're coworkers and not friends? Whole group is toxic and I don't want no part of it. Just be honest. I'm not interested in you. I hear the way you guys talk. Like, honestly, here's the thing. How are your holidays? What are your thoughts about the repairability of folding phones? I like to learn how to repair them. I am not interested in folding phones because I think they're a fad, overpriced, and bullshit. So I don't know about the repairability of them because I don't actually use them. My holiday was decent. I had one very, very disappointing moment with somebody that I've kicked out of my life entirely, but otherwise, a fairly good holiday. Otherwise, made it into a good one. How do you tell a coworker we're just coworkers, not friends? Here's the thing. Usually you can kind of set the boundary. One of the ways you set that boundary is you walk in, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day, this, that, and the other. And you cut past the bullshit to talk about the very specific thing you want to talk about. So like as the small talk is starting to go on, you kind of cut the small talk to say, so, there's this change of address paperwork. I just need you to sign this thing because I got to get going. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like in that, oh, okay, in that moment is them saying, oh, I thought you would want to talk to me and ramble about random crap, but I guess you actually want to do work, so I will do that. In those occasions, you just try to get in and out as quickly as possible. You do the stuff you have to do, and then when they start rambling about some random shit to you, you start doing the, yep, yeah, okay. And then, I don't know, just do anything that makes it obvious that you have no interest in them. Pick up, call somebody, get up, just leave in the middle of the conversation. There are ways to make it very, very obvious besides saying it outright if you don't actually want to say it outright. But often just saying it outright makes it a lot easier. Got a waiver for me to sign for that e-bike. What are you talking about? What e-bike could you possibly be talking about, Copaz? I just bought an Ammo MacBook Air. What do I not want to do with it? Don't spill anything on it. Do you do every kind of repair? No. I do the repairs that make sense. Do the repairs that make dollars and make sense. Also, I don't know how to fix everything. That's the other thing you have to keep in mind with those workshops. I do what I can. I don't do what I don't. What hardware are you using for your jack setup? I am using this little Focusrite red scarlet piece of shit. I don't want to figure out a pipe wire solution. I really don't. Again, you have no idea how long it took to get basic Linux audio to work in a production environment the way that I wanted to, and I'm not fucking with config files. I'm not fucking with no, we're not changing this. I got it to work. I literally made a clone of the drive after I got it to work, and I've never fucking, I'm not fucking with it for the next 20 years. And is Austin overrated? I don't know. It's decent enough. I don't live there. I just work there, but let me just block the spam. What do you miss most out of New York City? A restaurant called Naya on 30th Street and 7th Avenue. This place. Oh, this thing is so good. How the fuck is this 4.2? What asshole gave this less than 5 stars? Place is amazing. I very much so enjoy Lebanese food. Lebanese food is awesome, but this place makes amazing Lebanese food. Line of credit is generally for short-term expenses. Long-term should be financed with long-term loans, not working capital. Well, some people don't get either. Farine, YouTube fame is not equal to real-life fame or real-life success. I can't blame you for that one. I could see all the quality journalists looking for the opportunity, virtue signals for... Oh, yes. I'm isolating with COVID. Let me get a YouTube channel recommendation. Help me pass the time. Uncivil Law. Check out Uncivil Law. I started going through his stuff the other day. I like it. I have had Reap says, I think right to repair isn't clear. It's asking for parts. It's not what we want. No, it is what I want. I would like parts. I would like the LCD screen to a MacBook by itself. Yes, I would like that. I would like the ability to buy chips from the manufacturer without the manufacturer telling me, I'm sorry, Apple doesn't allow us to sell to you. I can't speak for you. I can't speak for you, Jessa, but I would very much so like parts. Yes. I would like the ability to get chips. I would like the ability to buy chips without having to wait 3 fucking years after the device comes out to be able to buy them. Your boss? I thought you ran your own business. I can't answer that question anymore. So 1 sec, actually. I'm going to answer that. I have an FAQ link in the description. And if you read the FAQ link, you will see, I believe that is question number... No idea how American law works. I live in Canada, but is there a way to amend an amendment to fix the bill? I honestly don't fucking know. That's a question for like Nathan Proctor or something. I'm not sure. Here we go. So, okay, start with question 19 to 22. Okay, I just posted it in chat, Nate. I just posted it in chat. It's from 19 to 22. Any collaborations like the one you do with Better Biomed planned? No, I don't plan any of that shit. It's just that if somebody shows up. That stuff is lame as fuck when it's planned. And you can tell, and it's just boring, and it doesn't come across the same. Mr. Rossmann, thank you for your service to consumers. And are your Google slide deck available still for basic electrical engineering? It is, but it sucks. Like there were some incorrect things in it, so I made it editable by everybody in my Discord, thinking that they would solve all the things that were wrong, and they just actually wound up adding more wrong shit. It's good enough. Like if you want to learn how to fix MacBook boards or iPhone boards at component level, you'll get some basics. You'll get some basics if you read it. Do you fix DJI drones? I do not. No, I do not. It's not my thing. When are you going to do a cooking video? Never. Can we pay for an after-hours tier where you do board repair in the nude? No. I got my kids new iPads. What should I do with their old 6th gen models, which still work but are showing their age? Battery, wonky lightning ports. The problem is these devices are kind of like on a treadmill, and after a certain period of time, they fall off the treadmill. What I mean by that is that their resale value on the used market winds up being $100 or $150, but the actual cost of labor to fix those things winds up being more than that because it's an annoying-ass screen that costs $130 or $200 that you have to take off without breaking in order to get into the device to do the repair. So at some point, those devices do fall off the treadmill, and at that point, I would just use them as they are until they die. I wish I could have gone to one of the workshops when you were in New Hampshire. I never actually ran those in New Hampshire. Would you go on Lex Friedman podcast if you had a chance? Yeah, I would. I've reached out to all of those like a couple of times, like the Joe Rogans, the Lex Friedmans, and there's a few others. I never hear back from those. But like, I mean, I feel like I was kind of being an idiot by trying to get on those podcasts to begin with, because when you look at it, okay, like Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Pfizer, Elon Musk, me. It's just, I don't know. It seems weird. I have a phone that is broken, but I really want the photos recovered, but I only trust you to do it. It boots, but the screen and frame is jacked up. Glad to hear Clinton is doing better. Holy shit. Okay, that's way too much money. Well, it's a good thing I have Dan here to help recover your phone. Yeah, submit a ticket on the website, repairhelp@rossmanngroup.com is the email, or you could use the site, and I will happily try and get you situated. And thank you very much. That is way more money than I deserve. Jesus Christ. You buy a gun now that you are in Texas. Well, when you have enough enough crazy shit has happened to me that I feel like having a gun is probably a good decision at this point. So, yes. Lex Friedman's a leftist. He's intellectually corrupt. It sounds like some fucking cope, bro. That's some cope. Speaking of treadmills, can you recommend a doctor who will fake a disability note so I can get out of an Anytime Fitness contract? I would just print the template on your own. The thing is, again, a lot of those gyms, they're really in this legal gray area when it comes to the cancellation notices on these things, and like they would do everything they can to weasel you into paying insane fees, because they know you're not going to look at it. So, I don't know. Sign it yourself, man. Go for it. Howdy from West Texas. Thank you. Excuse me. What is something you think regular people should understand or don't understand about business owners? I think a lot of people just don't understand. I don't know. Like the more I read comments on Reddit, the more I realize people just don't understand the incentive structures that we have for doing anything. And I think that's like the fault of business owners for not really communicating it. Do you know how to repair or recover anything from a game console? I never have. People have given me drives from consoles to recover before, but in terms of anything else, like I'm not specifically an expert with it. What keyboard is that? This is a Microsoft wired 600 keyboard. It's literally the best keyboard ever invented. I will kill everybody in Typebracer with this keyboard. Is there any other place I can learn to solder and repair stuff? I live on the other side of the country. I would look in your area. Do you fix relationships? No, I break them. That's why I'm 34 and single. Have you hired somebody to go through your repair wiki and ask ChatGPT to make the articles better? I haven't. iPad Rehab says you can already buy parts. You want a screen? It comes free with a new MacBook. No, that's not fucking true. That's bullshit. Okay, you buy a new MacBook and the screen comes glued to the computer already. Like, I don't want to buy a $1,200 MacBook when somebody comes in and says, "Can you fix the screen on my MacBook?" That's just, you're being intentionally obtuse. No, that's the problem is aftermarket parts don't work. Yes, that's an issue, but there's also nobody making aftermarket screens to begin with. Like, there's nobody making aftermarket MacBook screens. That's never been a thing. For iPhones, it has been, but for MacBooks, it hasn't really been a thing. I really would like the ability to go to an LG or an AU Optronics or a Chime or a Samsung parts broker and say, "Can I buy an LP133 WP1 TJA without you having to go through some crazy shit to say like this, this stuff just kind of like walked out the back door so I could buy it." It would be really nice to actually be able to buy those parts from LG brokers or AU Optronics brokers or Samsung brokers without them saying, "I'm sorry, we're not allowed to sell to you." You said we can get parts. That doesn't count. That's like saying you can get a heart, but I don't know. It's like saying, how do I put this? It's like saying that you can get a heart by just like ripping it out of your son or something. Like, no, you can, but then there's a cost for that, obviously. Like, it would be nice to actually, you get the idea. I hope you get the idea. You can already buy parts. You want a screen that comes free with a new MacBook. But now you're saying that we have to buy a $1,200 part to provide a $300 repair on a device that costs $600 on the used market. It just doesn't make sense. I'd like the ability to actually buy a part. I would like the ability to buy parts. I think Lewis would be in his element on Lex. I'd probably bore the crap out of people. That's why I probably haven't been invited on. I think I'm going to try and start an electronics and appliance repair business in the future up here. Any suggestions of what work I shouldn't take? Don't take stuff you don't know how to do. Don't take stuff because you feel like you're less of a man for not taking it. So what I mean by that is there are jobs that have a very, very high risk to them, but a very, very low reward. Like if somebody comes in with some random Android phone that you've never seen before, that there's no guide on how to open online, that you're never going to see again, that has 50 little... I got 129 once when I was racing my audience. Smoke them every time. Let's say you have an Android phone that comes in that has like 30 flex cables that fold around the board and everything, and a sliding keyboard, and you know in your heart of hearts you're never going to see this phone again, and you go online and there's no guide on how to take it apart, but you feel like my customer's going to think I'm less of a man if I can't open this. They're going to say, "What, you don't know how to do this? What? Okay, so you have a phone repair shop." And then you take it and you open it, and one of those 30 ribbon cables that's wrapped around the whole board that you have no documentation for rips, and then you're fucked, because you're not going to find that ribbon cable on eBay or any parts website anywhere. You're screwed. You're not going to find that part that you need, and that customer's going to say, "I wanted my phone back in 20 minutes," and now you have to find a used one on eBay that you're going to pay more for than the customer's paying for the repair just to rip that one thing out. So don't let your ego get to you. Learn how to do the things that you want to do and offer that make sense to offer, and the rest of it, just don't take in shit when you're unsure how to do it and you think there's a chance of you fucking it up, unless you have parts and everything on hand and the customer has their data backed up. Don't go outside of your field of expertise. Like, try as best as you can to become an expert in the field of devices that you're going to work on. Don't work on shit that you don't know how to work on because you feel like it makes you less of a tech or less of a man. Because I see that all the time where people think like, I can't tell this person I don't know how to do that. They're going to think that they're going to figure me out, that I'm not a real technician or whatever. Don't do it. So many of the customers that come crying to us because all their data is lost and they're screwed and they're fucked and they're stressed as shit is because somebody took in something and tried to fix it that they didn't know how to fix, and they wound up screwing their customer and themselves. You deserve it and more for fighting to repair your own shit. I deserve what I earn and nothing more, Sam Vega. I deserve what I earn and nothing more. Nothing more. Do you have an idea? Do you miss the activity of biking around New York City? A little bit. How do you feel about ChatGPT? I hope it dies so people stop asking me. Why are AMAs not public? Because they're not. Such is life. Can you fix Dr. Phil? I haven't watched Dr. Phil in over 25 years. What are your top 3 favorite video games ever? Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy IX, and Street Fighter Alpha 3. And Final Fantasy IX. Would it be possible for you to expand OnlyFans, but obviously most of your content would be in detailed MacBook repair with your personal replies to your fans to guide them? No, I've thought about doing an OnlyFans for the nonprofits where it's just pictures of Wario. I've genuinely thought about this because I sent an email to my nonprofit attorney and I'm waiting to hear back. This is funny because I actually thought of this like 2 weeks ago and I mentioned it on stream and I sent the email yesterday. Can I start an OnlyFans with my cat and then use that to fundraise for right to repair stuff? We asked for parts and this is what they gave us. She gave us parts assemblies, i.e. an ear speaker that comes with the screen. It's stupid. We're asking for the wrong thing. No, we're asking for the right thing. We just got fucked. We're not asking for the wrong thing. I know exactly what the fuck I'm asking for. I'm asking for parts, and they're saying we are not going to give you parts, we are giving you assemblies. So you're saying we're asking for the wrong thing, but in reality we asked for the right thing, but the governor amended it because she's not getting on the front page of the New York Times. Not getting on the front page of the New York Times for that. But it's so fucking tempting. Nothing to say other than I enjoy your content, and thank you. Thank you, Oxygen Induced. But seriously, we're not asking for the wrong thing. We're asking for the right thing. We are asking for the right thing. They edited what we asked for. They said, we're going to give you it in this bullshit way. Did you see that AMD's 7950 XTX is at 110 Celsius hotspots due to a faulty vapor chamber design? Nope. I don't follow CPU or graphics card shit at all. I built this computer like 4.5 years ago, and I'm probably going to use it for the next 10 years. Also, a shame about the build getting sabotaged by a moron. At least it sounds like your new location is far more enjoyable, probably not as cold and gray either. You know, it's much sunnier here. I do enjoy that. It is considerably sunnier here. Much less seasonal affective disorder. Armored Core 6 Expand. I played Armored Core 2 for PlayStation 2. That was an awesome game, but I never got to the rest of them. I also played Earth Siege, but I couldn't beat the final level because my CD was scratched and it would freeze, and I couldn't find another version of it. It killed me. I loved Earth Siege. That was such a good fucking game. I was playing it on my Pentium 2 233 megahertz that had 32 megabytes of RAM and a 6.4 gigabyte hard drive. Back in the day. Those were fun times back in the day. Jess is trolling the shit out of me. She's good at that. This is why we've remained good friends over the years. We control each other without killing each other. Mr. Rossmann, Final Fantasy 19 is the GOAT? Well, you must mean Final Fantasy 9, not 19. I don't think 19 exists. Thank you. Some people have to accept when it's broke, it's broke. Lex, Joe, etc. They probably just don't know enough about right to repair. And maybe they have no time or interest to find out. At face value may seem like a nothing burger. Probably is. That's what I heard of a lot in the Destiny subreddit. There were a bunch of posts there saying this is a niche. This is a niche issue of one YouTuber. If they edit the bill, what's in it for them? You didn't ask for much at all, man. Who's them? And who's they? There's a lot of pronouns in there. Who's they and who's them? I don't know. I don't really think we asked for. I think what we asked for a lot was by asking for we asked for a legislature to actually do something without butchering it, which is admittedly asking for a lot. Asking for a government to not fuck something up is actually very, very greedy. Let's see. Keep fighting. You're doing good work. Thank you, Jeff. Jelf. Thank you. Yeah, in the Destiny subreddit, there was this one thread where a lot of people were saying, like, this is not a serious issue. It's some random YouTuber's pet project. If it actually was a serious issue, maybe more people would give a shit. Maybe the governor wouldn't be able to destroy it. That governments are actually reactive to their citizens. It's just that you may think something is something people take seriously when they actually don't. And that's probably the case here. Maybe it's just not a conspiracy. Maybe it's just nobody actually gives a crap. It's very possible. It's very possible. Boring issue. you think it's worth getting a computer science degree? I don't know. No clue. Convince me why I'm wrong. I think we should only ask for not tying device function to branded parts and service. That's it. I already made my argument, because I would like the ability to buy chips and LCDs and everything else without going through a black market of bullshit so that I can actually fix customer devices going into the future with certainty. I think the issue is that we're in different industries, whereas in the iPhone industry, you have no problems getting affordable LCDs and chips, whereas in the MacBook industry, I have infinite problems getting LCDs and chips compared to what it was like 5 or 10 years ago. So we have different problems. And I don't disagree with you that the bill should include something that says you're not tying stuff. I agree that you should have what it takes for you to be able to fix an iPhone. I'm simply asking that we include something in that also allows me to fix a MacBook. I also think there's a equal likelihood of the governor and the lobbyists and Apple saying screw you and screw me to both of what we want. So, like, it's not like they're going to say yes to the bill, even if it has that in it. Have you considered talking to someone like the New York Times? Yeah, I have from time to time. It's amazing how Zeldin lost to Hochul. Not really. I mean, honestly, I think he probably would have won or had a better chance if it wasn't for like the whole stolen election Trump shit. Everybody that tied themselves to Trump with the stolen election cope and that garbage wound up losing. And the Republicans that didn't tie themselves to him with the stolen election cope and bullshit tended to win. Or perform a lot better. Do you see yourself trying to get an advertisement in nearby colleges to your shop? Yes. Thank you, Q's Tech Service. Are you a joyful? Is that a euphemism? I feel like that's a euphemism for something, so I'm afraid to answer. There's a lot of push for open source software. Do you think it's possible for hardware as well in the future? Maybe. Do you cap your repair prices when time or parts unexpectedly goes over the cost? It's usually on a case-by-case basis. If so. I see the AMA scam is still doing its job well. Why bother doing a real job when you can just con people into dishing out tons of money to get attention from Lewis? Paul Daniels understands it. Chrono Trigger will always be the GOAT. Chrono Trigger had a good soundtrack, too. What's your favorite Final Fantasy IX character? Kuja, by far. Kuja ties everything together. Rawr. I still don't understand why the governor's motives was for changing anything. Who the hell would have reached out to her? TechNet, Apple lobbyist probably. I heard it was TechNet. They're a longtime enemy. TechNet is a longtime enemy. It's not a scam, says Paul S. Oh, you're going to make Paul Daniels cry, bro. Holy shit, that's way too much money. Stop that. Thank you. I don't have a bottle of water here. Usually I have a bottle of water while I'm streaming. I guess I'll just drink Paul Daniels' Australian Tears instead. I was about to get out here and do some more building of the kitty enclosures. I hope you get a Netflix special. Maybe. Do you need to play all the previous Final Fantasy games to enjoy Final Fantasy IX? No, you don't. Each one of the Final Fantasies, like 7, 8, 9, they're all their own distinct story without having to understand anything from the past games. Opening a phone repair shop. Any tips you have for starting out? Rewind the video to about 5 minutes and listen to that one. I'm going to name my firstborn Cuomo. Don't do that. That's mean. Don't do that. Your kid can't change his name legally until he's 18. Kinslet says, my friend is a hardline Nazi and I don't know how to help him. I see him going into depression from it. I don't know how to help him. Have him listen to Destiny stuff. Destiny stuff is quite reasonable. He's good at converting people out of crazy shit. I would suggest having him listen to Destiny. It's a scam. It's a happy little scam. Glad Lewis can do it. Makes me smile. Yo, says the man that changed his logo. Look at this trash over here. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I like Final Fantasy VII the most. Been out of the loop the past week. Hope Clinton is okay. Happy New Year and more fortune. Happy New Year. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Clinton kind of fucked himself. Clinton kind of messed himself up. Let's see if I have a video of what was left of little Clinton. This is my Clinton cat. Look at him. This poor little fuck. You only name Bridges Cuomo. Bonus point if you get the joke. See him? Well, he was high on some opiates. He was freaking flying. And Blackberry was actually sitting next to him and keeping him company because she knew he didn't feel well. I tried to give him a greenie and he could barely look at him. He's trying to get the greenie. He's better now. Gotta go parent stuff. You are the best. Final Fantasy IX is best. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the repair content. Thank you, Mr. Ops. Hopefully I'm able to make a lot more of it in the next few months. I'm kind of excited to have other people make that content. Any thoughts on how hard YouTube is effing over creators, especially since the new rules? I don't know what the new rules are. A lot of people are complaining about new rules, but they haven't told me what they are. Can you make a video on how to get a girlfriend? Once I learn how to do it, I'll tell you how to do it. How about that? That's my deal. When I figure it out, I'll tell all you. Cone of Shame. He did have the Cone of Shame on. Run for office? No, I don't hate my life that much, Muliji. Will you be able to upgrade an iMac with 128 gigabytes of RAM? If you're in New York, no. That store is closed. There is no more New York City store. If you have shit that's there and you have not picked up or paid your invoice in the last few months, you should go there on Tuesday to pick your shit up because that place is going to be gone in a few days. Happy New Year's, Lewis. It was very nice seeing another board repair video. You know, I hope to have a lot more into the future, both board repair, data recovery, and I want to include some other people. I've had difficulty getting people to do that type of content here, but I think I'm going to have a lot less difficulty into the future. And I'm very excited to be able to do that into the future. There's going to be a lot more board repair content, a lot more general repair content on this channel over the next few months, and it's going to include a lot more people than what you usually see. It's good stuff. Good stuff is going to happen here. I thought max reps helps you get girlfriend. Right to reps. No, you need more than that. You need more than that. Interesting, Lewis uses a sheep for his logo instead of Clinton or Blackberry or Oreo. I had the company logo before I had a cat. Q's, I'm never going to stop picking on him. Go talk to Texas congressman. I've done it. You're literally right there in the Capitol. I gotta work with the U.S. PERG people on getting something in this state. It's a sheep because we're humble. The same way a sheep is humble. We don't rip you off. Well, Lewis, it'll be good to see repair videos from your channel. Sales have slumped to the lack of vitriol from your side. We'll see what we can do, Paul Daniels. Did I show you what the icon is that I have? I'm actually protesting Paul Daniels right now. You want to see how I protest him? Watch this. Can we get dedicated foot cam? No. Ew. The fuck out of here, weirdo. Check this out. See this? This is the Flex Board View icon for Paul Daniels' software. It's a picture of a kitty. So that's micro. So I do this. I can open my board view. See? The board view opens. Okay. Trying to get the schematic to open, but doesn't. I'm clicking, but it's not registering that I'm clicking. But it is what it is. It's Paul Daniels software. Can't expect it to work. But I do have the icon changed. Paul Daniels' software is good. I probably should update it more than once every 4 years. I have to go. Kitty enclosures need building, not for micro. Have fun, everyone. I'm sure I'll see you around. Oh, wow. Proper board view version. No way. What version is this? There's no way. You fucking sneak. Did you update my shit? This is Flex Board View version 1.439. This is 1.439. See if I get this in the screen. Yeah, see? 1.439. This is way too new. I think I have 1150 on my other computer. How the hell did you sneak me into this? Ridiculous. Who you repair larger products like receivers and Bluetooth speakers? Who? Huh? I don't know what that means, Frank Coley. Can you send me $40,000? No. New YouTube rule is if you bully in the comment, you can receive a strike. Okay, does that mean that if people bully others in the comments, or if I bully people in my comments? How does that work? I'm just turning off comment section if that's the case. I'll suggest people install some plugin like Dissenter or some shit. Or I think that would create an ecosystem. Hi, Oreo. I think that would create an ecosystem for third-party commenting systems that overlay off of a website. If you had a bet what caused a Big Bang, what would it be? Probably Oreo jumping on the chair. Come here, Oreo. Come here, Oreo. Come here, Oreo. Good boy, good kitty. That's my good little Oreo. Who's my good boy? I have a mid 2012 MacBook Pro and I swapped out the optical drive and added another SSD. It doesn't show up. Do you have a guide for this? I don't think I do. Do you mean it's not showing? Which one is not showing up? If it's a 13-inch mid 2012 MacBook Pro, most likely you have a bad hard drive cable. All of those machines have bad hard drive cables. It's a very common issue. They all die. It's one of the only laptops, literally one of the only laptops where the SATA cable dies regularly. Do any of your accomplishments surprise you still? No. I spent a lot less time thinking about the accomplishments and more time thinking about the failures. I don't consider myself particularly well accomplished. Do you ever consider making your right to repair bill a more tooth ballot measure? Yes, and I tried to raise the money to do that last year, and I failed, which is why I'm doing traditional lobbying instead. How much money should I make a year to attract a modern woman? I don't know. I guess that depends on the individual woman you're looking to attract. I think you should probably make enough money that you could live... I think you need to make enough money that you can live independently and that you could live like a good life, wherever it is that you are. Like, I think that's the base bare minimum. And honestly, after that, I don't think the rest matters as much. Like, from Oreo, you're not going to kick my keyboard off my lap, boy. That's not how this works. You are the guest. You are the guest. Anyway, like, I know people that are worth like 1 or 2 or 3 million, and they don't have a lot of they don't have more success with women than the guys that have like $50,000 in the bank. Like, the people that are worth like, okay, 100 million, like $1 billion, there it makes sense. But like, the different, Ori, you cut the shit, boy. What are you doing? That's my freaking keyboard, bro. Do you buy the rare VHS craze? I honestly never heard of that. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. If you pay a subscription for Flexboard, you would work better, because then you would be able to finally afford an actual program. Oh, ouch. Yo, sunny days with the fucking zing on Paul Daniels. Would you repair large products like receivers and Bluetooth speakers? No, I don't see any money in that. Is right to repair bad for security of a product? No, it is not. Nope. Knowing the value of a resistor, being able to buy a charging chip has nothing to do with security whatsoever. That is a cope, and that is an unsubstantiated, uncited claim made by industry lobbyists that don't know jack shit. You're the face of right to repair. That's a huge accomplishment. I don't know if that's an accomplishment. Has it actually gotten passed anywhere? Have we made any progress in 7 years? Maybe me being the face of it is why it hasn't gotten passed. You ever think of that? You ever think that maybe me being the face of it is why it fails in every state? Just saying. He's so happy. He is so freaking happy. Such a good boy. So money doesn't equal more women. I think it does. It's just, it happens at a level that's so far above what people think. Like again, if you're worth like 1 to 3 million, but you're just like that's not going to put you in a place where you're like way more attractive to women than a guy that has like 50K in the bank. It's, I think once you get into like 50 million, 100 million, a billion. But like once you have basic competence, basic financial competence, I think you're good. Thank you for all the work you do for Right to Repair. Also, thank you for the work you do for Linux and open source. I don't know if I do any work for Linux and open source, but I'll take it anyway. What do you learn you want for your next relationship? I keep thinking about what a good relationship means to me. I want somebody that helps take away my stress and make me feel like they are taking on the world with me rather than somebody who is their own set of issues in and of itself. Yeah, like there are people that make my life easier and people that make it harder. The next woman I'm with is going to be somebody who makes my life easier. Erica taught me to keep my standards high with that. Kinsley said something in the chat about Europe. I don't know who Kinsley is, and I don't know what the thing about Europe is. What do you mean? What about Europe? What am I missing? Texas is treating me well so far. Thank you. What's the latest with Future Motion? Which cat is your heaviest cat? It's a Clinton at around 15 pounds. What am I looking for? Is that why you left Erica? No, that's the opposite. Erica raised my standards for women in general. Like she made my life easier. She helped me de-stress when things were going poorly. She would help me strategize a plan out of all the messes that I made for myself. Like she raised the standard for every other woman. Can we make Right to Repair profitable for businesses? Maybe argument is a greener solution. I have, but they don't really care. I've argued that if you make products more repairable, that you can use that as a selling point over others. But I mean, when you have a market cap of 2 trillion with unfixable products, I don't think that they really care about it at that point. What do you think of latest MacBooks? I don't really care. It's not No, I don't want to answer. I guess you asking like 20 times and me not answering didn't make that obvious, Cameron. I don't really care. Hello, Rohan. How are you, sir? Hope UT is treating you well. What's your favorite text editor? I use a mousepad and XFCE. I think everyone has one fatal flaw. What is yours? I'm not sure mine. I think everybody has some sort of flaw. I was talking about this earlier, where like people, when it comes to starting a business, like you learn after a while what people's weaknesses are that keeps them from being able to start something from scratch. I think I'm like a C student all around. Do you have to do the cement of blood? What? How does that mean? What's your biggest goal for 2023? Don't screw anything up. I don't have a goal. I don't have a goal other than just don't break anything. You're going to wonder for a long time, Duke. A long time. One of them. He's one of the biggest scammers of all time, Mr. Green one day. One of the biggest cults of personality. Okay, no more pets for you, Oreo. Now Clinton gets pets. Favorite marsupial? Crash Bandicoot. What are your politics? Yes. Your new store is only a couple of blocks from where I live on West Campus. I'll pay a visit sometime. Very cool, Rohan. Thank you. What new approaches Rossmann and Perry and me taking with the new Texas site? What new business ideas might you have learned from failures? Don't hire more than 6 people. Don't try to expand. Just, if you have something that works and is profitable, just leave it the fuck as is. Don't change it. Don't move into a bigger place. Don't hire more people. Don't expand. Just leave it the fuck as is. Accept that you suck at business and just leave it the fuck as is. Is the only reason Sam Bankman-Fried got caught because he took the wrong people's money? No, that's conservative cope. He got caught because he did stupid ass shit. Does BlackBerry ever sit with you? Almost never. She did in a video recently, but almost never. I haven't tried any Crash Bandicoot game after Crash Bandicoot 3. Warped from 2000. Tell us your opinion on Andrew Tate. Sometimes he says things that like I can go okay, and a lot of the times he says shit that's just fucking ass retarded. It's just horrible. Like what he said about Dubai was very interesting to me. Like, you know, when you go to Dubai, there's no crime, even though the city is 80% immigrant and everybody's foreign, and they're all like, there's no crime, everything is clean. You know, the politicians can just walk through the city, and they don't have people that are going to run and assault them like in America, where if if Nancy Pelosi were to walk around a conservative part of Texas, or Donald Trump were to walk down the street in New York City, like God knows what would happen. But like there, the politicians don't have to hide from people. You know, you can leave a $10,000 bag on the beach and nobody will steal it when you go in the ocean. Whereas, you know, good luck doing that shit in New York City. Like some of that, like you could listen to some, like I could listen to that and go, yeah, when I visited, that's what I experienced. But then you see some of the other shit and it's just like absolute dumb fuckery. I don't know. He seems to be the latest cult of personality where the people will like, I try to avoid, I try a lot to avoid listening to people that I think are going out of their way to get as much attention as possible. I don't want to reward them with attention. I don't want to reward them with attention. And I don't need like an online father figure. I'm not looking for that. What do you think of high schools in Virginia no longer releasing achievement at college applications? I don't know. I don't really focus on college applications. Tate is 100,000% right, and the vaccine's in the sheeple. And that's how you know you a retard. See, that's the thing. I don't really care if people like got it or not. I just care if you mandate it. But like when they go, I can't be friends with somebody that got the vaccine, it's like, you're fucking dumb, bro. That's just dumbass shit. What are your thoughts on Brian Koberger? I don't know who that is. So since I don't know who that is, I don't have a thought on him. No idea who that is. I don't know. I don't follow. I'm very bad with names. You kept learning a code. No, I suck. You listen to Top G? What is Top G? I heard an argument that we can't have a truly sustainable green society with the current economic model, which is based on growth only. It became growing indefinitely. I don't know. That's smart and you're wise to do that because it's a wildfire that feeds off the hot air you give it. The only way to win is not play. Thank you. What are your thoughts, if any, on ChatGPT? I don't give a fuck about ChatGPT, bro. I'm just like, I want to get a fucking AI chatbot. I want to get an AI moderation bot that just deletes every fucking cancerous comment asking about that same shit every 2 minutes. I don't really care about mass murderers, Carrie. I don't follow them. Have you thought about having an interview with the guys from Graphene? I have asked a bunch of times. It's literally the only person Fudo's given money to that hasn't wanted to come on for an interview. Oh well, I can't make them. Do you think you'll be able to balance working quality time to spend with your children in the future? Yes, I think I shifted my life where I did like a lot of work in my teenage years, a lot of work in my early and late 20s, to the point where I can do slightly less into my 30s, and in my late 30s, hopefully do nothing. So I would like to be able to be a stay-at-home father for my kids, meaning I don't go to work at all. I just take care of my kids, spend time with them, play with them. Here's the thing, even if I'm not spending time with them, I always want to be available. Like if my kid has something he wants to show me or something that's bothering him that he wants to get advice on, I don't want it to be something where like daddy's not available for the next 2 days, so he goes to some other fuckface to get advice, and then by the time I'm available, he doesn't need an answer to the question anymore. So even if I'm not like there with my kid, I want to be able to make have the availability. So yeah, I think I did a lot of work earlier on so that later in life I can do less, and I do intend to exercise that by being a stay-at-home dad. Thoughts on Obama? That's not a question. That's like thoughts on clouds. It's just too general. Do you think New York is corrupt? Yes. See, that's what we call a specific question. Yes. Cameron, do the specific questions. Hello, Ann. How are you? Louis, do you really want kids? I'm surprised you said that. Why are you surprised I want kids? It's a completely, utterly natural instinct. Like, why do you think that this fucking species has survived for millions of years? It's because people want kids and have them. Why do you think you're alive? Why do you think? It's a natural biological imperative. Wouldn't you be bored? Why would I be bored? Taking care of kids is a full-time job. But like the ability to mentor somebody into being better than you ever could have been, that's awesome. We can't have a green society because there are 5 billion people in the developing world who want a Western standard of living. We don't have the resources on the planet. You never know. It may fix it in a few hundred years. You never know. If the vaccine actually did what they claimed it wouldn't, then I could see it taking it, but that's not watered down till you'll get sick, but you won't die. Next is you die, but you gotta. I mean, it's a new virus. It was a moving target. They tried to come out with shit in a few weeks. Like, I don't know. A lot of people say like they lied. It's like I'm not lying when I say I think this is the problem with the board. Like when I say, okay, it's going between 20 and 40 milliamps over and over again, I think pin 8 of U1950 is corroded. Like, am I lying or am I just coming up with a hypothesis and then investigating it? I don't know. It's like they used the best of, they were giving the information that they had at the time. How bad do you think recession will be? I don't know. May not be able to have 2 cats in the stream anymore. Will you start selling Forsaken laptops since you're in Texas now? Yes, I will, because I don't need another fucking license for it. Tips for your cats. Cats equal profit. Excellent. We have $19 over here from David Zhang for Clinton and $1 for Oreo. Hi, I can't stand your personality. Well, people probably can't stand you either. I'm sure many people can't stand you either. Okay. Do people say your name like they say it in France? I've never been to France, so I don't know how they say my name there. Just finished battery and SSD replacement in a MacBook, based on advice from whoever answered my email at your shop. Oh, wow, cool. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm happy you're on the subject of kids because you seem a bit busy, but want to put time into kids. I'll be a father this year. That's awesome, Frank. I wish you the best of luck. Yeah, my goal is for my kid to never see the inside of a daycare. If I have a kid, I'm going to be the one raising him. And my wife. Are you dating the same fox you met when you moved to Texas? Was I dating somebody when I moved to Texas? I don't remember that. When you take $1 trillion for your assessment, you'll be as crooked as they were. Huh? Take your shirt off for me, please. $1? You think I'm that cheap? Wow, that was so offensive that my phone fell off of my table. Get the fuck out of here. $1 to take my shirt off. What's more profitable? YouTube or repairing stuff? Depends on the month. Depends on the month. Will you own a Ferrari? Probably not. You've ignored my questions for some time regarding CPU, chip, DRM, and right to repair. Is this because you don't know about it, don't care? That's the first I've seen of your question. Let's see. When I hit Control F, I actually do not see you having asked it ever. Yeah, that's literally your first post here. And it's a shit post. Okay, next. What are your thoughts on dating apps and would you use them? I do not use them because I think they only work for like the top 5 or 10% of men when it comes to appearance. My experiences on them have been, nope, not for me. I am not in the top 5 or 10% when it comes to appearance, so that's not for me. Do you have a daily routine or schedule, and what does that look like? Yes, I do. I schedule my day out in 5 to 10 minute increments, depending on what I have to do that day. They did lie, though. They said the vaccine would prevent the spread, and they had news outlets saying it. Was it a lie, or was it they thought that was what it would do at the time? See, again, like, I don't know. It's a lot of people, like, to be clear, I tend to side more on the conservative side with COVID. Like, fuck lockdowns and all that shit, and fuck vaccine mandates. But, like, that doesn't cause me to lose my critical thinking. Did they lie, or did they believe that it would actually do that at the time before you had, like, Delta, Omicron, G, whatever the fuck came out? What is the vaccination situation in your parts? Dude, I live in Texas. I don't gotta give a fuck about that shit no more. So no little chance of you getting fine IR selling. IR selling? What's IR selling? Non-money question. How do you become a handy person? A hardy person. I don't know what you mean by a hardy person. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by a hardy person. I don't understand that. You don't remember the 10 you were schlumping in text? I do not recall. You did more than 99% of Slacktivists, and you pushed for something that is pragmatic. You did good, so don't feel like a black-pilled, bloated donkey. Oh, well, you can tell me not to feel black-pilled, but I most certainly feel like a bloated donkey. You know much about Texas right to repair laws? I don't. I know that there was an attempt at a medical one 1 or 2 years ago that kind of failed, but since I wasn't involved much with the medical side, I don't know the exact reason why. But that's a question from my campaign manager. It wasn't a shit post. Asked in letters to Lewis also earlier in the stream. It sounded like a shit post. I don't know. I don't answer questions if I don't know. I don't answer every question. I answer questions that I think are worthwhile. I don't know jack shit about CPU DRM. Oh, it probably just wasn't interesting to me. What tools do you use to schedule your day? Mousepad, XFCE text editor. Should I buy a MacBook Pro? You're never going to get an answer to that question from me that's a yes. I think they're referring to mini dress girl who got in the car while you were playing raunchy hip hop. Oh, okay. Now I remember. Oh no, that was like 2 weeks. That was never going anywhere. She knew that was never going anywhere. I think she wanted it to go somewhere. I mean, she obviously wanted it to go somewhere, but I was very clear from the very beginning that was not going nowhere. I had no interest in that going anywhere. Nope. Listening to the inventor of mRNA vaccines, you were lied to. You're coping hardcore. You mean the guy that had like very, very mild, very small input in the late 80s? Anyway. What food do you cook often? Eggs in a pan with avocado, salt, some orange juice. Thanks for the stream. What food do you... Oh, that was the one I just read. Just got to have a breakup. How do you move on? Find some work to do and find someone else. Would you agree that infants under institutional care have poorer growth and development compared to mothered infants? You know, it's been 5 years since I read this, Uraz, but there was something that I read, and I can't cite it right now because it's 5 years ago, who was saying that how kids that go through daycare wind up with higher cortisol levels, not just while they're in daycare, but even later in life. So I remember the first time that I went to, I forget if it was pre-kindergarten or daycare. I still remember that stress like it was yesterday. Like I was a kid. I was a small little toddler, and I still remember that stress like it was yesterday. There's no way to describe it. Like I am not afraid to speak in front of people. I'm not afraid to do public speaking. I'm not afraid to try new shit and fail at it publicly. But there was something weird about that. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm never putting my kid in that situation. I think I ruined that relationship. Yo, okay, so this is a funny one. So I was talking to Paul on the phone, right? And I was talking to him right as this chick that I'm going on a date with gets in my car. And this woman knew, like she knew that she was never going to live up to Erica. She knew that Erica had increased my bar of what a woman that I should be with was. And she just knew, like I was literally very fucking clear. Like, you will never live up to this woman. I have no idea why you're even going on a date. Well, I knew why she was going on a date with me, but like, you're wasting your time. And literally as she gets in my car, Paul's like, okay, so what, so you're like, what, you're get, I forget if it was like, you're getting back with Erica, or are you fixing things with Erica, or tell me about Erica. I want to know more about Erica. Right as this woman is getting in my car, that I said, that I said, you're never going to live up to this woman. Like, just stop trying. It's never, I'm never going to marry you. I'm not going to date you. And Paul, like, I'm on the phone with Paul, and and like, right as this woman gets in my car, he asked that question. And I just hung up on Paul, and it's like, Paul, bad fucking timing, bro. And I just like, I tried to hide the fact that I was laughing, but I couldn't, and I just hung up on him. Oh, that was so funny. Oh, this some stuff you just can't make up. Some stuff you can't make up. AMA, what in your opinion is the biggest success and failure as an entrepreneur? What? I don't know how to answer that as a question. I don't know what it is. Some of these questions are so general, it's almost impossible to answer them. The lie was saying everyone is best off getting the vaccine regardless of reaction or recovery, denying the possibility of natural immunity by omission. Okay, I could kind of agree with that. Like, natural immunity, like, yeah, I could kind of agree with that. Yeah, it pissed me off though. Like, I know people that got COVID already, and they're like, I don't want to get the vaccine because I already got COVID 6 months ago, and I know what COVID does to me, but I don't know what the vaccine may do to me. And they were forced to, and that pissed me off. Like, I told my staff at the time, I said, if you get it, great. If you don't get it, just to be clear, that whole thing that de Blasio said where everybody has to get fired by December 27th to 2021 if you don't get the vaccine, I am not enforcing that in my business. And if they try to sue me or force me to fire you, then I will challenge them legally. I was very against the force. I think that the part that bothers me is when people say, like, you're a retard if you got the vaccine, or I can't be friends with you if you got it. Like, that's just fucking retarded. Now, if you say, I cannot be friends with somebody that forced me to get the vaccine, 100%, I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. But like when people, like when Andrew Tate's like, I cannot be friends with anybody that got this, it's like, get the fuck out of here. Most useful books you've ever read. Jim Camp's Start With No. That was by far. Jim Camp's Start With No. Big one. His name is Dr. Robert Malone. Oh, God. Okay, anytime somebody says you're a smart dude, it usually means that they're being retarded. Yes, Dr. Robert Malone. This, oh my God, that's just been so fucking debunked right now, over and over and over again. You know ants can see in the dark? No clue. Take my 2 Aussie dollars. You should visit Australia. You know, I'm not very interested in visiting Australia. I may visit just to say hi to Paul Daniels at some point, but... What do you think about Twitter and Elon? I don't give a fuck about that attention whore, bro. I don't give a fuck about that attention whore. I really don't. Like, one of the things I'm learning is to just not play his game. Like, he wants attention. At the end of the day, everything he does is this desire for attention. And if I criticize him or I praise him, at the end of the day, I'm giving him attention and I'm giving him what he wants. So I'm just going to take that away from him. Same shit with Andrew Tate. Like, at least you can laugh about it now. Yeah, if you don't laugh, you cry. But that was funny, Paul. But will you stream Dota in the future? No, I still suck. But in all seriousness, like when it comes to the... Oh my God, Oreo, why are you drooling so much? Jesus Christ. Get off my lap, you freaking... Okay. Yeah, like I don't want to reward them with the attention that they so badly desire. Do you think right to repair issue is going to bleed in automotive to make us buy EVs? The EPA is coming hard at the performance side of automotive. I honestly, like, I know I'm saying the wrong thing for the political leanings of my audience and the generally pro-freedom and, what's the word I'm looking for? Why do you think the dating market is so goofy? It seems like MGTOW red pill or vomit is more popular than ever, while at the same time there does seem to be a ridiculous desire for some women to get juiced by social media delusion. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it was better in the past or not. I think it's just that now we have social media where people can talk about their issues, so you figure out that other people think the same thing that you did. And it's very possible that these issues existed 10 or 20 or 30 years ago. It's just it wasn't socially acceptable to talk about them in a public forum, but now it is, so you see them. You think 5G is dangerous? New York legislators, you all fuck out of here, you pieces of dumbass. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you all. Fuck that state. The right to repair in the auto. Like, there's this. This is like I understand that there's a thread of oppositional defiance disorder that flows through myself and through my audience, and I get that I'm not supposed to be the person saying that, like. But I'm not really bothered by a lot of the stuff coming at the performance side of automotive. I don't know. I would like to see EVs be more easy to fix, though. That for sure. Thank you, Zurizy. Do you plan on spoiling your children? I don't know. Probably. I plan on making them work for it, though. They pulled other vaccines that had an exponentially lower vaccine injury rate than the mRNA ones. I'm not getting into that shit. The vaccines did what they were advertised to for the original variant of COVID. Is it really that hard to understand that there are new variants to COVID that keep coming out? People coping for real. I agree with Rohan there. Oh, Paul S. Top rule on how to not be a boogeyman. Yeah, yes. Paul S. is a cool dude and a good friend, but he's a fucking shit wingman. Oh, I will leave it at that. Yes. Good friend, horrible wingman. Do you think a game along with a website would be a good online business? No idea. That's very general, not specific. Wario is such a cuddler. He's a drooler. According to Pfizer trial data, oh God. Strange, super chats could give me errors and ate all my reply and replaced it with the cat. Oh, sorry to hear that. That's not me. Did you catch the Femora story? Yeah, I did a video about it today. Let's see. Anybody actually watch this thing? Kind of curious. Let's see. Okay, not horrible. 18,000 people watched. 2 million subscribers. 18K watched. That's actually not a bad watch ratio for me. It's a bad watch ratio for other channels, but for me, that's actually a good watch ratio. Way better than Eli's. You wouldn't download a car, would you? Maybe I would. Maybe I would. I'd like to apologize for the can't stand your personality. Oh, I don't know. You missed the rest of the comment, just came off as rude. Yes, usually when I read something that begins with an insult, I tend to avoid the rest of it. But thank you. Thank you. Hope the best for you and your family. Sorry for asking this question, but would like a relatively okay online business be a game along with a website? Kind of like those Roblox. I don't know. That's so vague. I don't know. Lewis, glad you ranted about Wondershare. The company is off horrible, and I hate how effective their SEO is. Yeah, it's incredibly blackpilling to see how easy it is to rank for complete garbage if you're a scammer, and then seeing how hard it is to rank for legit business. I sketched my first 2023 newsletter blog post about it today. Thank you. That's cool, Dan. Send me a link to it when you can. Yeah. Where do you think the best place to find a date is in the current era? No fucking clue, man. Wouldn't even know where to begin. Ask somebody that has a clue. Not me. You're asking the wrong person. My boss is sending me to iPad Rehab's microsoldering class. Do you know anything about it or what I should expect? Yes, I used to teach with Jessa back in 2015 when we were both still young. Now we're old. I mean, read up as much shit as you can before you go. Yeah, read up as much as you can before you go. And don't expect that just because you go there for 5 days that you're going to come out a repair person. That class is a very good class if you have the mind for it and you're like you're working to expose yourself to it, but it's an introduction. You know, you're going to go as far as the amount of effort that you put in. Do you enjoy life? Yes. Do you do hardware repairs, or is it more about politics now? I don't know. Are you still... What? What? Rossmann Repair Group is a repair business. YouTube.com/Rossmann Group is my personal rant channel for the past 10 years. I don't understand the question. Thank you, Melanie. You say software can't fix water damage, but what about the time the hacker known as 4chan released an iOS software update to increase water resistance and charge your phone up? Bro, we're not going there. What the hell is that? What is that? It looks like a Pokemon, something on a Pokemon card. You use ads to start your business. Yes. And all the companies that I use no longer exist. Like Backpage, I was actually one of the best. Because if you posted regularly in Backpage, there was a really good, like that would actually show up in the Google rankings in 2009. So if you did like A1181 MacBook screen repair in New York City, and you had a really good ad that said exactly what you did, how long it would take, what screen you use, why you're better, how all that stuff, had your feedback in it on eBay and Yelp and Google or other shit like that, you would actually rank. You would actually rank. I used OLX, Kijiji, ClassifiedAds.com, and Backpage. That shit doesn't exist anymore. If you're not the guy to listen to for advice, why are you speaking coherently? What are you live streaming for? Why are you using so much punctuation, bro? You're going to fucking break that key on your keyboard. You're actually going to break that question mark key on your keyboard. That's not healthy. Advice for a first-year university student interested in entrepreneurship and in feeling like making a difference. Don't be interested in entrepreneurship. You should be interested in solving a particular problem or doing... And then if there's no way for you to work for somebody else and solve that problem, and you figure out a way to start a company that solves that problem that you think is viable, then do it. It's kind of like if you're interested in entrepreneurship, I think you're starting in the wrong place. You need to find a problem that there's a demand to be solved, and then solve that, and then figure out. Then maybe you start a business to solve that problem. You don't start by saying, "Okay, I just want to start a business." It's a biohazard symbol. Yeah, but why is it there? Why is it there? What is your view or philosophy on being friends with your employees? I don't think it's possible. There's a power differential, and that means that you can never be friends. The power differential makes you can be friendly. I think you can be friendly, but you're not friends. There's a fundamental power differential. You know, at any and there's just that's always going to make things weird. Like, I have the ability to end your employment. I have the ability to fire you. It's going to temper the way you talk to me. It's going to temper the way, I've always known that. And even now I know, my boss that I have now at Fudo is a friendly. He's a nice guy. But I realized that I speak to him differently than I would speak to him if I wasn't his employee. Wasn't Backpage for, hey, you cut that shit out. I stuck to MacBook repairs, man. I stuck to MacBook repairs. Do you think having a large viewership on YouTube and being vocal about New York City issues because you can become a target? Nah, I think they fuck everybody equally. New York City is very much into equity. They're very progressive. You know, they spread the fucking everybody around. I'm not the first person to talk about that happening. What type of content do you think is missing from YouTube or Twitch or independent sites you'd like to see more of? I don't know. I think boring but unbiased coverage of news. I got the feeling of repair when I was figuring out what was wrong with our heater during a recent winter storm, and I fixed it. I was very proud of doing that. There's a really beautiful kick of dopamine that comes from fixing shit that somebody else couldn't solve. I had that just the other day, actually, and it was very... I hadn't had it a while, but it was very welcome. It's in back page of dating site. Bro, listen, there's multiple sections to back page. I wasn't using that section. I fix MacBooks. That's it. Thank you for fixing my iPhone a few years back. Saved my wife's data after she dunked yet another phone in the pool. Thank you, none of your business. Thank you for trusting us with your data and your business. You believe in peaceful parenting, right? Yes. What if your wife is for corporal punishment or screaming? I have gone out with women that believe in that, and since I want to have children and I do not believe in beating them, that ended that very quickly. So you screen that. So the thing is, you tend to have these types of conversations with women before you have children with them. Children don't just magically appear out of the sky. You have to do something for them to show up. And even if you do that thing, there's so many things you can use and do so that children don't pop out at the end of it. But yes, I try to learn that about a woman before I have children with them. Is demonetization an issue for you? Like sometimes. Like I get a lot of videos that have that like little yellow, the yellow dollar sign where I'll wind up making a few bucks off of them, but it's like, oh well. If I did this as a career, I'd be fucked. Like there are months where I'll like make 20% of what I made last month, and then the next month I'll make 5 times that, and then the next month I'll make like 10% of that. There's no real steadiness to it, which is why I would never consider doing this as a job. It's like you're literally dealing with like a passive aggressive AI as your boss. I'd say what you want about like East Village, Yelp, Elite, spoiled brat customers that I had in New York City, but I'll take that any day over some passive aggressive AI. I have a stack of hard drives that will be headed your way in the upcoming months. Steve and Chris will be prepared. Would you recommend your recliner chair? Yes, I like this chair. Do you have a list of reputable repair shops? Nope. I don't know. Have you ever thought of having a presentation at Chaos Communication Congress in Germany? I have not thought of having a presentation at any place outside the United States. I honestly don't think about it, really. I haven't really thought about leaving the country. Are you pro-abortion or pro-not abortion? I'm pro-life in philosophy, pro-choice in law. I'm not for abortion being illegal. I think it should be legal, but that doesn't mean that I think it's a morally good thing. That's about that. Also, I understand if you're going to make it illegal, I think it's weird to have an exemption in cases of rape, because that's why I think it should, because then you have the situation where you're essentially incentivizing somebody to say that they got raped when they didn't, so they can get an abortion, which I don't think men should be. See, that's one of the things that men that are like pro-life don't get. Like when they say, okay, fine, make it legal, but only in case of rape. Okay, well, now you have just created an incentive structure for a woman to lie in a state that has abortion limitations about being raped. And okay, let's say that she says that happened to her and she gets her, it happened on May 7th or whatever. Well, okay, maybe they figure out where she was on May 7th, and then they go to the bar and they go, oh, who she was speaking to? Oh, and then he was speaking to Tom, and then they grab the receipt for Tom. Here it is, Tom's a regular customer, and here's his credit card number, and it's like, you see where that goes. So, legally, I am pro-choice. Philosophically, pro-life. Kind of boring there. I also think you just kind of go down a shit rabbit hole by trying to make that illegal. For it being considered immoral, but not everything that's immoral should be illegal. It's immoral to, it's immoral to cheat. It's immoral to call somebody a piece of shit. It's immoral to lie. You're allowed to do all that stuff. Did you watch Meadowker's farewell stream? What's a Meadowker? What is a Meadowker? What makes you think people are going to be allowed to have kids? I don't know if they want to have kids, they'll have kids. I think that's a lot of people not. It's not because they're not allowed to have kids. I think it's because they're not interested in having kids. Do you think getting right to repair legislation passed in other countries can get the ball rolling in the U.S.? I don't know. How do you fix Japan's declining population? I don't know much about their culture, and I've never visited. There's something, like, if you have a society where people have just decided to stop having kids altogether, there's probably some deep black pilling or social issues going on that you have to get to the root to figure out why nobody wants to have children. What if you streamed exclusively on Floatplane to ensure a stable income? I don't think anybody's going to watch that shit. Be careful getting married in Texas. She'll take half of everything. Well, one of the things I've learned when it comes to marriage is the bar is so high. Essentially, there are women that I've been with where I've literally doubled or tripled my salary while I was with them. So if I do get married, I would want to get married to somebody who is such a good partner that my head is in much better shape while I'm with them. They're good at helping me strategize, helping keep me from doing stupid things that wind up sabotaging myself or self-sabotaging. And when I'm with that type of person, if I'm doubling or tripling my income as a result of being with somebody who's so amazing, I'm not really going to care if they take half of it. But essentially, that raises the bar so much for who I would actually marry. But I think that that's a natural thing. Like, the bar should be set high for the mother of my kids. But yeah, I genuinely believe, like, if you're with the right woman and you have a lot of shit going on in your life, you'll double or triple your income if they're, like, really on your side and doing what they're supposed to. And you're, this is going to come off wrong. I don't have the synonym for it because it's 1 a.m. Like, if you're taking proper advantage of your partner, like if you're actually listening and letting them in and allowing them to be a part of your life in a serious way, and you'll probably double or triple your income, in my opinion, or at least in my experience. And when that happens, I don't think you really care. Like, if I have extra zero in my bank account as a result of the person that I'm with, yeah, it's just not something that's in my head. It's like a scarcity mindset kind of thing. I think I cared about that a lot 10 years ago from a principled standpoint, but then in reality, as I got older, I realized it just didn't matter as much. But the thing is that fundamentally raises the bar. Like, I'm not going to marry somebody mediocre. I'm not going to marry somebody that doesn't genuinely improve my life to that extent. And after having been with 2 different women that did that for me, I realized that is the standard. What are your thoughts on Kanye West? Out of his fucking mind. What are your thoughts on Andrew Tate? Attention whore. What are your thoughts on Kanye West? Don't spam my chat, asshole. Japan's problem can be understood why the top 5% of guys get all the girls. Japan does it in real life. Well, yeah, again, I'm not going to pretend to understand Japan's social issues or their culture. I've never been there. I like marriage. I just wish the laws weren't anti-male. In fact, government should get a marriage altogether. The above Bill Barr reference is correct. I have a family member who's female who is actually paying her ex-husband alimony. He only made $60,000 a year, and I think she made $120,000, and he wanted to have the lifestyle that he had before. Not kidding. So there are women out there that can get fucked by that too. They exist. It's sad, but she's probably like 1 of 5 people in the U.S. to get fucked by that law, but it can go the other way. What do you think about green energy? Well, I'm for it. Go for it. Who's the other woman that did that for you? None of your fucking business. Man hinges ego on women that aren't in his life. What? How the fuck did you hear that you should go out, that you should be with women that are supportive of you to the point where your life does better as ego is hinged on? You're a fucking retard, bro. Damn, you a dumb fuck. Get that. That is some retarded ass shit. If a broad helps you get healthy but poor and she's hot, is it worth? That's a ridiculous question. What's your age range for women? Would you go the prenup way? I wouldn't do a prenup. A prenup means that I don't really trust you, and if I don't really trust you, I shouldn't be fucking marrying you. You gotta embrace the gun culture of Texas. Yes, I approve. Kills a lot is actually retarded. Are you still contacting people for interviews or podcasts to talk about right to repair? No, not really. I contacted all the people a year and a half ago that I intended to, and I followed up with a couple of them just in case they weren't, like they didn't see the email, and like I'm kind of done with it now. Solar panels are trending cheap in the future, and batteries are also coming down in price with the exemption of the last 2 years. Perhaps green energy will come simply due to market incentives, though battery cell size having trouble trending it denser. It's still really fucking expensive. Like to get a serious crazy setup, it's still like, you know, 30 or 40,000 bucks. Like for me, the appeal of solar isn't saving money. It's being sovereign. It's knowing that if the gas station runs out of gas and the power goes down, that short of somebody stealing the shit off of my roof and invading my house, I have power when everybody else doesn't. So for me, the appeal of solar is the sovereign aspect of it. It's not the money aspect of it. Because like still dollar-wise, it just doesn't make sense. Interested in your experience with POS systems. Repair Shopper is good, but since Troy sold it to some other company, it's gone downhill considerably. They don't take feature requests or bug fixes anymore, so they're not really good. I have to find an alternative to that. Using QuickBooks. QuickBooks is accounting software. It's not a POS system. I know what you're thinking. They have a POS system. It's shit. It's absolute shit. Don't use QuickBooks as your POS system. Just don't. I get it. Like, I know what you're thinking. I don't have time to find a POS system. I already use QuickBooks for accounting. I might as well use it for my POS system too. Don't do that. It's very bad. You're going to torture yourself. How do you get new hires to learn repairs? I usually hire people that already know how to do this. So I do YouTube videos that essentially show you how to do everything I do. And then when I need an employee, I usually hire from the audience. Like, again, the downside of showing everybody how to do what you do is you have more competition. But the flip side to that is you also don't have to train somebody, which is really cool. So there's a downside and an upside for everything. Is it a Foxconn problem or an electrical design problem in regards to Apple products? I don't know what problem you're referring to. Can you trust a woman? The right woman, yes. The wrong woman, no. Why on earth would I want to bring a child into this world? Pets are wonderful, and don't be concerned with being unable to afford a house that costs 30 times annual income. I mean, bringing a child into the world, it's really cool to be able to bring something into... Yo, man. Okay, firstly, the reason that it's cool to have a child instead of a pet, when the child is 13 years old, it's not going to do that shit. Did you hear about Apple canceling CSAM plan? No, I haven't really followed a lot of Apple stuff recently. I guess it took them long enough. It took a year. Yeah, I mean, why would I want to bring a child into this world? I mean, the idea of seeing how far I could have gone with a more proper upbringing, like that's exciting. Being able to see somebody being able to see somebody younger outdo you and like go further than you ever got. Because here's the thing, like I think there's a lot of people that like they start at 1 and they only make it to 3. And like they know in their heart of hearts they're not going to get further than 3. But the idea that their kid may be able to go from 3 to like 6, that makes them just, say it's worth it to not give up. Trying to set up one for a small grocery store in my area, scratching my head over the stupid fees, can't debate on what I should consult a business owner. Yeah, grocery store, no fucking clue. Like, you gotta want to find something that's very specific to what they're doing. So for me, I use Repair Shopper because it really just like solves everything I need. When a customer calls in, I can see the status of their ticket on the screen. It syncs with QuickBooks. It allows for mail-in versus walk-in, has a shipping integration. Like, you're gonna have to find, I don't know what works for a grocery store because I've never tried to run a grocery store. Solar as a form of personal energy independence is great, but it's a lot more important to have a stockpile of good Send water before worrying about running your air conditioner. And I hear cat. Yeah, that's Clinton. He's being an ass. Yeah, I agree. I have usually a few days supply of water in my house at any given time. If the laws in New York City were actually not stupid, would you still be there? I don't know. Probably not. It's not just the laws, it's the culture. Thoughts on NVIDIA? They make graphics chips and they're a publicly traded company. Where is Erica? That is an $800 super chat question, Dio Fabian. Are you an engineer? No, I'm a janitor. Clean up in aisle 5. Pour some flux, hot air. Ultrasonically clean it. My father was a narcissistic piece of shit who actively did things to make my life more difficult. Perhaps I'm a bit jaded. Okay, I have a little bit of sympathy now for the reason that you may not want to have a child. For me, I had a mother that was very similar. And one of my motivations for having a kid is I really want to see how far the kid gets with a proper parent. Like, I want to see if I choose the best possible mother. Because the thing is, when I go out with women now, I'm not thinking in terms of what I want the most. I'm thinking in terms of who would my future son or daughter choose to be their mom, right? So let's say that my future daughter, right? Let's say that my future daughter is trying to actually has the ability to choose her mother. Like, she could go back in time and choose who her mom is going to be. Who would she choose? And when I go out or I'm like dating, I'm not thinking in terms of me. I'm thinking in terms of like who would, I don't know, future junior Rossmann choose to be their mother. And the ability to like do that for a kid, the idea of like, my DNA and my body and my brain and all that, but like proper childhood and all that, it's just it gives me something to shoot for. Like it's one of those things that makes it worth putting in the work to not be a loser and to, have my life in order. It's one of the motivations to have my life in order and, yeah, I'll say that. But I understand how it can go the other way, whereas if you have a parent who's horrible to you, you think, I never want to have kids. I understand that. But imagine being able to give the gift to somebody else of having the exact opposite of your experience. Wouldn't that be awesome? And I completely understand. Don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing you, Melanie. If you think to yourself, I don't know if I can do that, I was not, I don't know if I can do that. It was never modeled to me. That was never modeled to me. I completely understand it, and I'm not going to criticize you for it. But just to give you the other side of that. You consider adopting? No, not really. You'll be a good father. I don't know. We'll see. It's very easy to find the answer to that without running your own experiment. Just look around at kids with good parents. Have you tried sending Apple the complaints you have at the circuit? Oh, that's funny. Zozo, $3, facts. Thank you. I want to go to a shooting range someday. Maybe, Brad, maybe. But Melanie, I wish the best for you. I don't have children, nor do I intend to. My parents did such a thorough job of screwing me over that I have no way to support a child. That breaks my heart. It really does. Melanie, I am the first person in my family tree to not be broke. Like for the last 4 or 6 generations, like I'm the first one to not be broke. I was going to say the first one to not be crazy, but that's pushing it. But yes, I know. I believe in you. Chat believes in you. I believe in you. And I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm just trying to plant a seed. Actually, shit, that's a really fucking bad analogy. That could be portrayed as a bad euphemism. Okay, that's not how I meant it. I'm trying to plant an idea. A potential idea. I'll leave it at that. Oh man, that's gonna fucking get clipped. I started the stream saying I was gonna get to the front page of the New York Times for something. There'll be something else. but in all seriousness, yes, the idea. Again, imagine the idea of being able to just provide your children the exact fucking opposite experience. Like, I want you to think about how far you think you could have gotten if your parents were 100% supportive of you and were always there and were encouraging. And when you went through the difficult things in life, like, I don't know, first boy you had a crush on, first bully, first time that you lied to somebody, like, what would it have been like to have a supportive person there to walk you through it without judgment, without yelling at you and all that shit? You can do that. You can do that for the next version of you. And you can do that for the next version of you that can create the next version of them, that can create the next version of them, that keeps creating the next version of them from now until the end of time. And it just keeps it keeps improving and iterating and getting better and better and better. And imagine that person making their corner of the world better. Imagine them fixing a genuine, serious issue in the world because they had you as their mother. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Anyway. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to live down that clip. Anyway, have your fun. Have your fun. Are children even affordable in the current economy? Like, were they ever really affordable? I mean, like, look at how people lived 150 years ago, man. Like, seriously, look at people that lived in fucking tenement housing. Like, look at the Irish moving to New York in the 1870s or 1890s. I mean, like, now is like one of the best times in fucking history to have kids. You know, you didn't have, like, seriously, like 200 years ago, people didn't have plumbing, they didn't have air conditioning, they lived like 12 people to. Dude, we are in one of the best timelines in history to have children in. Like, I mean, if you zoom out, I get it. If you zoom in and you're looking at like 1950 through now, fine, whatever. Like, go back to like 5000 BC to now. We live in a good time. Thoughts on buying a house in this economy? When it comes to real estate, I tend to only buy and rent things when I feel like I'm stealing from the person who's selling it to me or renting it to me. So and you'll know what it is. It's going to be this gut emotional feeling. Yeah, when you feel like, oh my God, I'm literally stealing from this person by buying at this price, do it. Until then, don't do it. I'm not a real estate expert, but that's just my advice when it comes to this. What's the deal with Athens you were selling off before the move? You had sold out, then had them in stock again where they cancel orders. No, that's my Magento website being a piece of fucking shit. My Magento site said when the quantity goes below a certain amount to put them out of stock, but it was going out of stock way before that quantity. What's your favorite Round Rock bar? Alcove Cantina, the margarita chicken. It's amazing. Margarita chicken, no beans. Love it. Have you ever been invited onto the Lex Friedman podcast? I have not. I emailed a couple of times, and I'm not going to spam because spamming is impolite and rude. But by the way, ignore Steve Robertson. He's a dumb cunt. Get the fuck out of my chat, you piece of fucking human dog shit. What a piece of shit, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. You saying this is reassuring to me. I'm so scared of the future of the world that I'm raising my daughter into. People had kids through the French Revolution, the Great Reign of Terror, the Black Plague, the Crusades, World War II. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Zoom out on history. Most of history was completely and utterly and hopelessly fucked. Does that include literally stealing it? Huh? how bad weather changes is going, I'd never be able to have reason having kids through that. It's the future they will suffer through. It's going to be hell in 40 years. Bro, people had kids through the Ice Age, man. People have kids in Australia. You'll be fine. So you'd say a house for 40K below market value is a good deal? It's the right size and fits our needs. Well, what to define market value? Because I've always thought market value was bullshit, because market value tends to be something that's so high and insane and ridiculous in New York State that you just ignore it. So I don't know if market rate, like I don't know if 40K below market value is a good deal, because market value is often insane. I can understand your point of view. My father had multimillionaire parents who bought him a house. Well, that is cool. Lex will definitely take issue with how you deal with shitters in chat. Probably. And admittedly, I could do better there. I keep promising I'm not going to use the R word anymore, and then I wind up using it. And I'll be honest, every time I do that, I hear Lex's voice in my head guilting me. So like it did work. The episode I watched with Lex and Destiny, it got me to at the very least feel guilt when I say it and try to not say it again. And it's a habit. And admittedly, it's a bad habit, and it's one that I'd like to solve. It's one that I would like to solve. Clinton? Clinty. Thoughts on YouTube removing sorting option for viewing all those videos. Not happy with it. How angry were you when you found out your prediction of Kathy Hochul changing the legislature last minute came true? Honestly, not that much, because I had mentally prepared for it. So the night before that happened, I did a video on exactly what I thought would happen. Let's see if I can show you that. So let's find this. And, yeah, okay. So is this the right page? Yes, it is. Okay, so over here, I did a video, my guess on how New York's right to repair bill will die. And then 2 days later, Governor Hochul sabotages New York right to repair bill right on schedule. So what I said would happen in this video is exactly what actually happened. Like literally exactly what I said is what happened. I was fully expecting it. There are real R words on TikTok that don't have a problem with the usage of the word. Thoughts? I don't really have any thoughts there. Yes, sorry, I feel bad because you gave $3. I don't really have any thoughts there. I try to avoid using shitty words when possible, but I fail. How do you make friends in a new city? I don't know. When I figure that out, I'll tell you. I don't even know how to make friends in an old city. That's another case of a company's first-party employees leaking nudes when they said the third parties did it. Which company are we talking about there? iRobot Roomba-style vacuum cleaners took photos of some woman on the toilet, and iRobot employees somehow got those photos and were sharing. What the fuck? Okay, I'm going to save that because I want to look that up. That sounds like bullshit, but the thing is, the more something sounds like bullshit, the more likely that's just 2020's reality. Okay, I'm going to take... Alright, I took a note. I'm going to look that up later, alright? Thank you. I will look at that. I don't know why you keep posting that black-pilled shit, GlowFrog64. My great-grandmother was one of 9 children. Her family lived in a 2-room, not bedroom apartment. Her oldest 3 siblings had to drop out of school at 14 and get jobs and help support family. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, when people say, I don't want to bring kids into this world, like... Listen, if you don't want to have kids, that's fine, but don't say it's because the world is worse now than it ever was. Like, you haven't opened a book if you think the world is worse now than it ever was. People have fucked throughout history. People fucked before they had deodorant. People fucked before they had indoor plumbing or deodorant. You know how smelly people were back then and they were still banging? It's a bad joke then, Glowfrog. It's a not funny, I don't know, I guess haha. I don't get it. Okay. Well, I believe that's about time to end it. We had a good stream. I'll see you later. Thank you, Marcos Cruz. More than I deserve. Well, I will see you later. Good evening. And bye now. I'll just leave. I read that comment and I responded to it, but I will leave it on the screen because I agree with it. And I just want to get the point across before I go. Yes. And that is that. Hope you have a good evening. Bye now.